Are you bulking or coping? Are you tactically gaining mass, quality, lean tissue, or are you using the bulk as an excuse to escape into the comfort of food? Are you trying to run away from those scary responsibilities by eating with your emotions? It's very important that you ask yourself these questions, bro, because only you know the answer. You can lie to me, bro, but you can't lie to yourself. You know when you look in the mirror. But anyway, let me share with you my experience for some clarity. Just over 4 months ago, I got ridiculously shredded, and since then, I'll be honest, I've fallen off quite significantly, but it's not just my physique, although that's the most visible sign. However, if you've also been noticing, I haven't been uploading anywhere near as frequently as I should have been, as I promised myself I would, and even more importantly, as I promised you I would. And it's because it's been a very slow, very gradual compound effect of shit hitting the fan in my own personal self-trust. All of the standards that I was holding myself to when I was getting shredded, man, when those started to go, it was a very gradual descent of everything else. One habit slipped, then another, then another. Then before I knew it, I was twacked out on stimulants, caffeine, nicotine. I started drinking kratom in Thailand. I even smoked weed a few times, more than a few times, I'll be honest. I stopped keeping commitments to myself. I stopped putting in the effort that was required of me to get to my goals. I prioritized living a balanced life and having fun and partying and traveling and all this shite that is an empty, hollow void of meaningless pleasure that doesn't lead anywhere, doesn't give you any purpose, any fulfillment. And I can track everything, all the falling off, back to one event. My bodybuilding show has ended. What do I do now? Now, I go to Thailand. I build the brand. I build the business. And that's a very vague goal. But I made the cardinal mistake of focusing only on the end result, only on the tactical, strategical things I need to do, when I actually let the foundation slip. You see, when I was getting shredded, I obviously had to be incredibly dialed in with my nutrition. I was hungry all day, every day, feeling like a savage, high frequency, high energy. Yeah, it got a bit more fucked towards the end, more side effects the leaner you get. But, up until that point, there was a certain savage energy that I was just hurtling through my days with, momentum, because you can't escape the foundational fundamentals. It is completely factual that when you're shredded, when you're lean, and every single time you look in the mirror, you're like, who's that guy? Oh, that's me. I did this shit. You have so much more self-belief. You have such a higher frequency that you attack everything with. No matter what you do, it all just seems to flow better. You see, ever since my slow fall off began, I've been really struggling to come on camera and speak. No matter how much I plan it out, script, think about what I'm gonna say, I keep stumbling over my words, nothing's coming out. And it doesn't even matter if I do stumble over my words, because that's the human element that keeps content authentic. But And every single time I did, I was like, oh no, I can't, I have to restart. It felt like there was this massive internal block that was keeping me from, spilling as much authentic, raw truth as possible. And that's because I wasn't living in alignment with who I knew I could be. It matters not that I was getting compliments left and right. Everyone was telling me, oh wow, you look good, oh you're so charismatic, oh I love your energy, when in reality I knew. Because others can lie to you, the world can lie to you, others can even tell you the truth, but you can't lie to yourself. You can't escape the way you truly think about yourself. And the only way to stay completely in the flow of life, where you have no intrusive thoughts, you can just go about your day smooth as butter, is when you're living in alignment. And ever since I stopped the journey of getting shredded, ever since I stopped having a clear daily process that kept me in check, man, I let everything else slip. And there was this constant battle of, having to get back on track and then falling off, getting back on track. And slowly, the troughs began to get a bit lower. The peaks began to get a bit lower as well. And every single time I had to start again, I lost more self-trust. I eroded more confidence that I could do what I say I did. And it all begins with gluttony. This rebound effect of getting shredded for a photo shoot, a bodybuilding show, or both, like I did, and you have no game plan afterwards, right? I had a game plan, don't get me wrong, bulk, gain, quality mass, but again, when goals are vague, they die, because how are you supposed to even measure the outcome if it's so, you don't even know what you're measuring, right? Every single time I looked in the mirror, saw myself becoming softer, pudgier, losing all of these, shreds that I had, it was feeding the cycle of falling off, because my self-esteem will get lower, my trust in myself will get lower, because I wasn't bulking tactically. I was emotionally eating, you could say. For a while, I didn't have this release of food to escape and, distract myself. But ever since I stopped having this clear goal of photo shoot prep, bodybuilding show, it was basically a license to go nuts, enjoy myself, stuff my face. And here's the thing, I justified it for a long time by saying, oh, I'm eating clean, I'm eating whole foods, it's fine, right? But it doesn't matter what food you eat, if it's healthy or not, you can still be a glutton. You can still be a slave to your emotions and your impulses, and use food as a coping mechanism, an escape for a life that you're not quite happy with. And every single time I overate, doesn't matter if it was fruit, if it was rice, it lowered my frequency for sure, because I was indulging in gluttony. You've heard it before. You can still get fat when you eat clean whole foods. And it doesn't matter what you say. I know I've gone soft. I know my physique has gone sloppy, because I don't compare myself to the average. Of course, I'm like, you can't even compare my physique to the average man, but since when was that a good thing, right? We are supposed to be so much more, right? We're ambitious young men. We have a fire in our belly. We can't compare ourselves to average. Getting shredded for a photo shoot one time is, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's very doable. But I made the cardinal sin, the classic mistake of letting that be an event that would then allow me to coast, saying, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done my bodybuilding show, oh yeah, now I can sort of rest on my laurels and focus more on actual providing value and helping others. But how am I supposed to help others provide value unless I'm actively living inspirational, like the actual example of what I preach, right? So what I'm trying to say essentially is that getting shredded once is not enough. The physique is not an end goal. It's not an optional nice to have. It is the literal foundation. It is non-negotiable. Your physique is the standard that reflects how much you respect yourself. And it shows you, when you look in the mirror every single time, that I'm that fucking guy. Whatever I say I do, I'll do. So I'm not having it anymore. I'm sick of it. This is a standard I'm not willing to tolerate. I don't plan on ever becoming a professional bodybuilder. I don't plan on becoming a strength athlete or anything that would require me to bulk excessively to try and gain as much size as quickly as possible. I'm an athlete of life. The world is my competitive arena, not a bodybuilding stage, which means I need to be operating at the highest possible frequency at all given moments. Which is why I can't keep living like this sort of in shape, soft, pudgy fuck. And again, I must insist, I don't care what the world says. I don't care if the average man looks at me and thinks, oh wow, he's in shape. Oh, he looks good. No. I have much higher standards than that, and I'm sick of allowing in the complacent voices that are corrupting my own standards. So fuck it. I'm getting lean. Some could even say shredded. I'm not going to get as peeled as I was at my lowest point, because, you know, getting below a certain point certainly has more drawbacks than benefits, but I owe it to myself. I owe it to the world, to the value I'm trying to put out, to just always be looking pristine. Because let me be very clear, the physique is only the baseline. It's the foundation, right? But everything else stacks on top of it. If the foundation is messed up, then the whole building will collapse, right? But it's not enough. Of course it's not enough. How many, you know, super shredded Greek gods are there who are just complete buffoons, completely incompetent at life, have no self-development internally other than, you know, the discipline that it takes to look good all the time. However, like I said again, it's impossible to start compounding this higher frequency and building on top with all of your other habits that will take you to the next level if every time you look in the mirror you're like, meh. You know, if it's always fluctuating, you know, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I look big, you know, I've got a pump, yeah, I look swole. And then the next moment you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I'm a bit soft, you know, you see a double chin. It's no way to operate if you truly want exceptional flow state, exceptional results from the rest of your life. You know, it's It's okay. It's perfectly fine to be always bulking if you're okay with just enough, right? If you want to be just above average, bigger than everyone else, this jacked guy, imposing presence and whatnot, but it's not enough for me. And so I will be living the example that I know is right, because being lean gives you more clarity, more drive. Being hungry more often just gets you into an attack mode. So today's the first day that I have cut my calories significantly, because now I'm actually tracking again, now that I have more on the line, so it were. And that's like the first mistake I made when I stopped getting shredded for the show. I used that as a reason to just let loose, to stop being diligent and tracking. Who knows? If I'd actually done what I said I would and stuck to a very small surplus to gain quality mass slowly, then who knows where I could be right now. I could have compounded my frequency instead of having all of these up and down cycles. Who knows? I might have never even touched weed when I was in Thailand, because I'm like, no, this is going to fuck up my appetite. This is going to fuck up my frequency, because frequency is all that matters. And if you're watching this and you don't know about the importance of, your vibrational level, your state of consciousness, then let me know, because, I'd like to go into it in more depth, while I physically transform, mentally transform, all of that, show you the ride, document the journey and whatnot. But if you think it's some kind of like woo-woo spiritual bullshit, then brother, I don't know what to tell you. You're in for a rude awakening, when every single time you try to accomplish a goal, you keep banging your head against the wall, because you don't know what's wrong, or you don't know why you keep failing, why do I keep stop trusting myself, why don't I believe in myself. That's all about frequency, and frequency is not some like crystals manifestation bullshit. No, frequency is actionable stuff that you can do every single day, your inputs that create your reality. Remember, everything starts and ends internally, and the physique is just the most immediate and tangible representation of what's going on within. So if you've watched this far, bro, I invite you, come along with me as we stop coping, stop pretending to bulk, stop making excuses, and start living to a standard that we know we're capable of.